Hello, YouTube. Now I'm coming back to you with another species review. Today I'm going to be talking about a despicable and vile race that has very recently come to quickly spread its plague across the face of Kvegathale. Of course, I am talking about the blight that is the humans. Uh, so, as with our other species, my first species review video, the Hibbins, I'm going to be starting off with talking about the core of what it is to be human in Kvegathale. So, humans were created, in the beginning, they were created by the great god Pelgan, also known as the father of civilization. For he is a god of cities, taking land, conquest. He is masculinity at its core. He is perhaps not brutal, but he is opportunistic and ambitious. These are the things that Pelgan put in his creation that became the humans. They are, at their core, what they really are is adaptability made manifest. They are many different things, as we humans are. We are many different things. And in Kvegathale, this is even more so true than it is on our planet. For in Kvegathale, there are there's much more diversity with humans than there is here. Humans that we would not even recognize as being human exist in Kvegathale. So, when they 76 of the 77 days, for on the first day, Pelgan created a human, but it was a failure, and he tossed it into the flames of Morgul and started anew on the second day. So there are 70, or at least there were 76 tribes of humans, clans that were created, infused with a little bit of each divinity associated with each of the days. For each day is ruled by one divinity, and he put a little bit, the essence of a divinity, into each on each day of its creation. He spent 76 days on this creation, and as a result, each human tribe was more different than the last. For they each looked very different than each other. Although they shared a common language, which is Pelganese, their attitudes were different, their looks were different, their mindsets were different. Just about almost everything you could say was different, except for the fact that a few things that humans do have in common is there are certain cultural norms that most humans follow, as many follow the great god Pelgan and his ways. And he is a divinity of masculinity. Have no doubts about that. He is one who is very masculine, to the point where for each day he created one male and 7 females for each of these men. For it is a tradition in the Pelganite way to have multiple wives. And it is a standard human custom to do so. Humans, there's not much you can say about humans in general. However, in general, humans tend to build cities and towns where they come across. They are not typically a wandering, nomadic people, although some of them are. They tend to settle and create great cities, as is the way of Pelgan. They are, many of them, they hold their lines to be quite sacred. The lines in which they themselves, each human descends from one male. So they hold these tribal names to be quite sacred, and to be cast out of your tribe, to lose your tribal name is a mark of great shame. To be a bastard, as one might say, is a great shame to a human. But when it does happen, these humans, they find other divinities, and humans worship nearly every divinity that there is. Not quite everyone, but the vast majority of them. For as I say, they are greatly adaptable. They are omnivorous, so they will eat just about anything, including, although this is not approved of by the Pelganites, but they can be cannibals. Some tribes are cannibals. There are tribes which worship Ahriman, the great darkness itself. Some who worship Pelgan hold to the old ways. There are some, for example, one example being a human by the name of Bryce Hycro, whose people once worshipped Laku, the twilight god, the god of the dying. There are every tribe in general can worship a different god, and some do. But the humans, many races see them as very dangerous, for they are conquest and ambition rolled into one. They arrived on Kvegathale with nothing to call their own. Nothing at all. All of the lands on Kvegathale were already populated. For the humans are one of the most recent, if not the most recent, species to have been created. So every land had already been claimed, but the humans were determined to survive, as we would be, as I know you are, as another human being. You will do what it takes to survive and to protect those you love. And that's exactly what these humans did. And they were ambitious and conquesting people, using whatever means necessary to survive, borrowing, and stealing everything before them. And so it became that some of the greatest cities in the world were created originally by humans. Firstport being one of them. But the cities that do exist are almost completely dominated by humans in many cases. But as Bale is a great example. A place that was once belonged to the Farum. However, the Farum underestimated the humans, as was one of their greatest mistakes. And the humans made them pay for it and took the city as their own and subjugated the Farum and the ogres that lived within. But humans, vile, despicable, many other races distrust them, and for good reason. So we're going to talk about some ideas that you might have when using humans in your saga. Know that humans can be just about anything, but more importantly, they can be more than they are in this world. There are humans that have blue skin and are very tall and thin, unusually so. There are some who have black ebony skin, and I don't mean like, I mean like pure black, blackest black, where no light is showing on their skin. There are humans of every skin tone color you can imagine, every hair color, even rainbow colors. So do not forget when you are flame tender or creating a character that humans have many, go all out with it. Definitely, look at all the various different types of humans, and don't forget to describe them too. Figure out what sort of tribes you think would be residing in the area and describe them as necessary. But remember too that humans are a very new race and will oftentimes not be known by many. There are many on Kvegathale who have never seen a human yet. They are that young. Approximately, they've been around for only about 150 of our years or so. So, with that, there's not much else to say about that. However, we have two new segments here. in our species review. We have one, which I will be giving an example of the race that is played in a live play game. And then I will also talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, what I mean by this is, let's start with our example. We have Bryce Highcrow, who a character I played in a Within the Ring of Fire live play game called Hell and Back. Now, this was run by Matt, who's a most excellent flame tender. I definitely recommend you check it out. But Bryce Highcrow started as a guardsman, basically, a city guard of Baal. He was hiding his identity. He was part of the Highcrow clan, but he was claiming to be another, and which is quite easy to do, as there are many, many human tribes he could hide amongst. But the Highcrow are special because they are hunted. They are hunted by followers of the Enforcers, certain divinities in Kavega Thale, who believe that the Highcrow clan, amongst other peoples, are corrupted, dealing with foul magics, following a dead god, Laku, who was killed for his dealings with magic, or it was suspected that was the reasoning. But regardless, he was a man on the run, took up an identity, but now has been caught. This is one of the many, many examples of a player character that you could create, or you could use as an NPC in your game. Let's see. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, this is a section I'm putting in for my amusement. What I mean by this is, by good, I mean, is the race sympathetic? In other words, can I sympathize with this race? And many of these races I can. There are a few that are so loathsome and horrible that I call them the bad. And those are ones that I personally would never be able to abide, or that are most foul, even for the standards of a dark world like Kavega Thale. And the ugly, that is simply, who are the species in Kavega Thale that are, well, let's say that all the species were a family. We're one giant family. Well, these would be the ones that are not invited to the family reunions. They are not at the big table, so to speak. These are the ones who are reviled for being most foul, loathsome, and despicable, that even others of the bad races may not even tolerate these. Of course, there are degrees, but where do humans fit in this? Are they good, bad, or ugly? Well, I would say that humans are neither really good nor bad. However, they are slightly ugly. And I mean, the other races look at them, those who know of humans, know to distrust these most foul and wretched creatures that are humans, and distrust them for being horrible. So I would say that they are invited to the family reunions. However, they are much talked about there, and many eyebrows are raised when the human walks through the door. So that is, now my review, I would say that humans are my absolute favorite species for Within the Ring of Fire, period. Now, that's quite a bold statement to make. I mean, there are many, many species within the Ring of Fire, but I think that they are the best because they are humans finally done right. Humans in so many other role-playing games are boring, bland, banal, sometimes irritating, but humans here are clearly none of those things. They are very, well, to other species they might be, but to me as a role player, they are fantastic. There are so many ways that you can play them. There aren't 76 tribes you can choose from, but it's close. There are many, many tribes you can choose from. Each one of them has their own flavor, a little bit of background about them. You can add your own background, come up with your own background for each of the tribes as you play them. There are so many opportunities that are given with humans. They are not boring in any stretch of the imagination. They're very interesting, and I highly recommend, especially if you're a beginning player, try playing one. You can put a twist on it. If you're not so good at role playing, it's a good place to start, and you can give it a try and put a little twist on it, make it not quite Earth human, and it should be very interesting. I've rambled on long enough, but hope you've enjoyed this review. I give them 10 griffins up. I'm giving them 10 broadswords up. These are fantastic race. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you all later.